patisangvedi is used for, a direct sort of maybe hardcore experience, bodily experience. And so what seems to me to be the case is that as one is breathing in and out, it doesn't mean that one shifts the attention away from the breath to the body as a whole, but one is still being aware, keeping the focus point on the in and out breath, wherever one can observe it most clearly, but the awareness of the whole body becomes more distinct, so that one is able to focus on the breath area, but at the same time, one gets the sense of the body as a totality in the act of breathing. There's a technical word for this in maybe neurology or physiology, proprioceptive. Has anybody come across that word before? Let's see if I could spell it correctly. I think that's correct. So that is the sense that we have of our body as an entity, existing in space. So we have this to some degree all of the time. Even though I'm standing here right now speaking, so I'm not just aware of speaking, but I have this kind of background experience or awareness of my body as a physical entity standing here. And so as one is attending to the in and out breath, then the way I see it is that the sense of the body in its totality sort of emerges and becomes more clearer and more distinct. Okay, then we come to the fourth phase of the first tetrad. This is, I shall breathe in, tranquilizing the bodily formation. He trains thus, I shall breathe out, tranquilizing the bodily formation. Now what's called the bodily formation here is kaya sankhara. The expression kaya sankhara is used in several senses in the suttas. Usually it's used to mean activities performed with the body, that is, volitional activities done with the body that create karma. But here it's used in a special sense to mean the in and out breathing. We find this definition of the bodily formation in Sutta number 44. This is on page 399. It's said here that in and out breathing are the bodily formation. then the question is raised, why are in-breathing and out-breathing the bodily formation? Then the reason is given that in-breathing and out-breathing are bodily. They are states or dhammas bound up with the body. That's why in-breathing and out-breathing are the bodily formation. So that would be the meaning of bodily formation, which is relevant here. It's the in-breathing and out-breathing. And so one trains thus, I shall breathe in, tranquilizing the bodily formation. One trains thus, I shall breathe out, tranquilizing the bodily formation. And it's said by most teachers that one doesn't make a deliberate effort to tranquilize the breath, but just as one goes on, being mindful of the breath, focusing upon the in and out breath, it's just part of the natural process that increased awareness of the breath, or as one is increasingly aware of the breath, the mind becomes more subtle, more refined. And as the mind becomes more subtle and more refined, then the breathing becomes more subtle, more refined, or more tranquil. And something further to be noticed about the last two stages in this first tetrad and all of the other stages that come after this. In the first two stages, the Buddha speaks about the monk. He understands this, he understands that. But from the third stage on, he says, he trains thus. So in this case, it's not just something that one is aware of, but one has to make a deliberate effort to train oneself in these further stages. But most teachers that I've learned from or read or heard say, don't make a deliberate effort to breathe more slowly or more calmly, but just be aware of the breath. And as one is aware of the breath, that is the training. As one is aware of the breath, then the breath on its own will become subtler, more tranquil. Okay, maybe at this point I'll pause and ask whether there's any questions on anything we've covered so far. Not yet going into the later sections. Yes? Please take the other microphone.
So is the training to be aware? That's the training.
Yeah, the training is really to be mindful of the breath. Okay, Victor, and then we'll go to...
Hello. Yes, when you were discussing focusing between the nostril and the upper lip, is the point to keep the mind there, not follow the breath going all the way in?
Yeah, not to follow the breath going in.
You kind of want to keep it there,
in
that area.
One keeps the breath in that area.
And if you choose another area, same thing, you want to keep, like if you choose to focus on the, I don't know, your chest or your belly button.
Whatever area one chooses, then one keeps the attention
in that
on
vicinity.
that area.
Okay, thanks.
And it's not between the nostrils and the upper lip, but it's any place within this area where one feels the breath most distinctly. So it can be, for some people, they'll get the sense of the breath just inside the nostrils. Some people will get it a little bit just on the outer rims of the nostrils. Some people will get it over the area just below the nostrils. It will differ from one person to another. Well, one starts off not narrowing the area too much. Because if one narrows it too much, then it will become too subtle and then the mind will drift away.